And we see you, we recognize your presence. Okay, I'm assuming the rest are members of the fourth estate. And the contractor who is on site, we can recognize you because you are with us today. So that's the contractor who is doing this work. So thank you so much and welcome to this function. I hope we'll have an interactive function where we'll be able to network, we'll be able to talk to one another and make sure before you leave here you get to know somebody you didn't know before, so that it becomes more interactive, so that you remember. During that function in Karura, I was able to meet somebody I didn't know, and now I have a new contact. So we'll move with the program. I want to invite Clement Goriareng to give his remarks on behalf of Kenya Forest Service. Clement, welcome.
Okay, thank you so much, Madam Jane, who is our MC for the program today. Board Chair, Kenya Forest Service Board, Mr. Peter Kinywa, who is also our chief guest today. The Group Managing Director, NCBA Bank, Mr. John Gashora, and all other protocols observed. My name is Clement Ngoriareng, working for Kenya Forest Service in the Farm and Dryland Forestry Program, which takes forestry outside the gazetted forests. This is the program that engages with partners, program that engages with the community for purposes of ensuring that the people establish their forests so that we reduce pressure on the gazetted forests. And in that program, we meet many partners, we meet many stakeholders, and the question that they always ask you is, where are the seedlings? Give us the seedlings, we do planting. Of course, after giving them the technical support, then they will ask you, give us the seedlings so that we'll be able to even plant and have our forests. And as a service, yes, we have 3 nurseries. We raise seedlings for purposes of rehabilitating the forests that we have or establishing plantations. And therefore, we have limited numbers that we can share with the communities. Not that we will fail to have, but we have a few. And therefore, this calls for many partners to come on board so that we can work together. And today, we are gathered here to witness a launch of a partnership between KFS and NCBA for supporting this Indigenous tree nursery. So as Kenya Forest Service, we are very excited because now we know one of the questions from the farmers, one of the questions from the partners will be addressed, of course, partially, not fully, because this is just one out of very many. And therefore, I just want to add my voice to what Jane has also said, to invite all of us to this launch and say, like that motto from NCBA, this is the day. This is day one, or this is one day that we have been waiting for. So as KFS, we are excited because we see coming to fruition a partnership that we have been discussing. Number 2, this will be an important nursery. Seedlings will be raised here, and we can be able to even supply some to our farmers who will be asking for seedlings. And it will also go a long way in contributing towards the achievement of the 10% tree cover, which is our constitutional mandate. I just want to say that we have had a technical team that has been working here, guiding the implementation of activities, leading what has been happening here, supervising, and we have a team from KFS and NCBA, and they have been working day and night to make sure that this facility that we are seeing today has come to fulfillment. And I just want us to recognize the team, the technical team, if you are here. Technical team from KFS, Kwanzia Jane, and then Nafasi, and then Musembi, the team from NCBA. Yes, let's appreciate them. We have had a tremendous support from this team, and they will continue. Today we're just launching, and then some other activities will be going on. Mine is just to say that this is a milestone, and we really wish other partners to emulate this. Hongera NCBA and KFS for this partnership. Karibuni sana. We appreciate all of you who have come to witness this day. So mine is just to say karibuni sana and enjoy the day. Thank you very much.
For that remarks, and I want to take this opportunity to welcome Nursery Kishuru from NCBA to give her remarks. Karibu.
NCBA Group Managing Director, Mr. John Gashora, KFS Chairman, Peter Kenywa, Kenya Forest Service Chief Conservator of Forests, Julius Kamau, colleagues, partners, ladies and gentlemen, good morning. On behalf of NCBA Bank, I am pleased to welcome you to the groundbreaking ceremony of our 1 million Indigenous tree seedling nursery project. NCBA is keen on environmental conservation as one of its key pillars in its citizenship agenda. In this regard, NCBA has taken the Change the Story initiative to raise consciousness amongst Kenyans to plant trees. The main aim is to raise awareness on the importance of planting trees, and through this movement, Change the Story, we challenge every able Kenyan to plant a tree where they can. Since the launch of Change the Story 2 years ago, we have collaborated with various partners, including the Ministry of Environment, KFS, who have been integral to us being here this morning. Over time, we have also partnered with Greenbelt Movement, WWF Kenya, KEPSA, and Royal Media Services, amongst others. As an organization, we have seen the impact of environmental degradation in the past decades of our lives, our country, and the economy. This will continue if nothing is done. Each one of us, as individuals and as organizations, has a role to play. As part of ensuring we, as NCBA, are playing the part that matters, we set out on this journey to establish this nursery. We expect to have ready seedlings for planting towards the end of next year. This nursery will also be open to individuals and organizations looking for seedlings at a subsidized cost. From this nursery, we are looking at being able to address the recent shortages that we have seen, as was earlier mentioned, especially of indigenous trees in the country. So let me take this opportunity to thank all of our partners who have made this nursery a reality, starting and most importantly with KFS. Without you, we would not be here today. You have offered immense support, especially on the technical side, whereby as a bank, we would not have been able to do it without you. We're also grateful to our contractor, the NCBA team who were acknowledged earlier, who have been working very closely with everyone here, and we're very grateful for this collaboration. The late Nobel Peace Laureate Wangari Maathai said, "Until you dig a hole, you plant a tree, you water it and make it survive, you haven't done a thing. You are just talking." So today, we are not just talking. We are doing. And by launching this tree seed nursery, we call on the country's attention to the issue of environment and sustainability. This project is one of many that we're looking to undertake as part of the Change the Story movement. As NCBA, we urge all Kenyans to join us in this reforestation initiative and larger sustainability conservation by planting trees and making valuable contributions every day towards conserving our environment. And with those few remarks, I want to say thank you.
Thank you so much. I want to take this opportunity to welcome our Chief Conservator of Forests, Mr. Julius Kamau, who will take over the program from there, and I'll pick it up at the last tail end of the program. Welcome, sir.
Board Chairman, Kenya Forest Service, Mr. Peter Kenywa, our chief guest this morning, Group Managing Director, NCBA Bank, Mr. John Gashora, the Group Director, Marketing, Communication and Citizenship, Madam Rosalyn Gishuru, NCBA staff present here with us, colleagues from the Kenya Forest Service, representative from the Friends of Karura, representative from the Nairobi Arboretum who are here today, the contractor, distinguished guests, ladies and gentlemen, good morning. It's really a privilege and pressure this morning as Kenya Forest Service to host this event at this particular spot, which I personally didn't have an experience or imagine it would turn out to be a very, very serene area that may speak beyond a tree nursery to an area where someone can come and relax and enjoy the beauty of Karura Forest. It's to say that Karura Forest is one of the few remaining green spaces in the Nairobi city, and it measures about 1,441.3 hectares, and it was gazetted in 1932 through proclamation number 44, and it comprises mainly of two blocks, that's namely the Mazingira and the Sigiria block. And it hosts the Kenya Forest Service headquarters. And beyond that, we appreciate the challenges that has been faced in this forest, particularly and most likely even this area that we are sitting in today. Perhaps in a few years ago, 1990s, someone would have claimed ownership of this. It has been a battle from history and up to now, and we continue as Kenya Forest Service to ensure that all our forest resources are safeguarded from the enemies of environment. And therefore, I would say that our management vision of Karura Forest, like any other forest, is to make sure that it's a world-class example of a sustainably managed and conserved and protected forest reserve, which is safe and secure, both for provision of ecological goods and services, and also for ecotourism and recreational activities and potential. And therefore, Kenya Forest Service, through the Forest Conservation Management Act 2016, is mandated to manage, conserve, and protect the forest resources through a participatory forest management model, which has proved to be successful. The Karura Forest adjacent community have already formed and registered a community forest association, commonly known as the Friends of Karura, who are well represented here today. Kenya Forest Service and Friends of Karura have developed a participatory forest management plan and have signed a forest management agreement to implement the PFMP. It is also good at the same extent to say that beyond here, we also have a very wonderful green space, that's Arboretum. And again, there we have been able to have also a CFA engaging with us. And also that's why we are extending the invitation to Friends of, to say the Community Forestation for Arboretum, so that we can move together and cross-learn from each other as we move forward. And therefore, as we all know, it is constitutional requirement that we increase our national tree cover by 10% by 2022. And therefore, this requires us to raise adequate number of seedlings to be able to serve these needs. And therefore, this partnership and collaboration, this is what I call the private-public partnership we have with the NCBA in trying to change the story, also give us an opportunity to inject possibly more than, and I believe it will be more than 1 million seedlings in a year, so that we can be able to provide seedlings as a basis of reaching to the 10%. We also acknowledge the strategic position of this Karura Forest in the urban setting, and therefore, as we do the indigenous tree, it will be good to consider the needs of the urban forestry, so that then it can be the basis and a source of seedlings that are suitable for our urban setting. And I would want to say that this partnership between ourselves and the NCBA will be widely regarded as a triumph for enhancing seed production and as a model for the restoration of forest ecosystem in many parts of the country. I think one of the things, Chairman, and I want to appreciate your leadership and your challenge to us as Kenya Forest Service Management, is the issue of building partnerships with the private sector. Because there is cross-learning. There's cross-learning. There's a way public sector does its thing. There's a way private sector does its thing. And when we come together, we learn from each other. So we take the challenge in a very positive way, because I believe even the technical team that were involved here in terms of developing this process up to today, they have learned something. They have learned way of doing things, and also from the private sector. I believe NCPB has also learned some of the few things from the forestry development. And therefore, this is something that we would wish to thank you, Chairman, for bringing this partnership to us. And I also know you have gone an extra mile to bring us other partnership in other areas, including Meru County, where now we have a borehole there. In Arboretum, we have a borehole, again done through your support by the Earthy Water. And for Meru is the Meru County. And you also have done a massive work in the Ngong Road Forest. We have now a free facility for the rangers, again through your support. And therefore, as Kenya Forest Service, as the Chief Conservator of Forest, I want to publicly say that you have been a pillar of support to us, and you have been able to go a journey where possibly you could not have gone. And if we would have gone, it would have taken longer that you have done it. So thank you so much, and I want to register that this morning. And therefore, would wish that this learning experience and what we have done today also encourages us as Kenya Forest Service to build partnership with others across the country, because we have more than 293 nurseries across the country. And therefore, it is a very big opportunity for us across the country to be able to build partnership that can work together with us to be able to help us to increase and complement our strength as we forge forward in terms of executing our mandate. And therefore, ladies and gentlemen, as I conclude, I urge all stakeholders to remain focused and to support Kenya Forest Service in delivering the National Forest Cover Agenda and aspiration of keeping forest safe now and in the future for the benefit of ourselves, and also protecting and making sure that the benefit we get from forest today, we are also able to pass it on to our children and grandchildren. Thank you all. Thank you, NCBA Bank. May God bless the work of your hands, and may He increase your territories so that then we can increase our partnership in other areas, even in changing the story for conservation. Thank you so much, and may God bless you. At this time, you can clap for me. Thank you so much. At this time, as I take over the program, I have the great privilege and honor to invite the Group Managing Director, NCBA Bank, Mr. John Gashora, to also make his remarks or keynote address. Thank you so much.
The Kenya Forest Service Chairman, Peter Kenyua, the Chief Conservator of Forest, Julius Kamau, thanks for the invitation. Our friends, colleagues, partners, distinguished guests, ladies and gentlemen, good morning. Thank you for joining us today as we take another step in our reforestation journey through our Change the Story campaign. This project has taken quite some time, but we're excited that it has reached fruition. I vividly remember when my team and I were hosted by KFS last year to discuss setting up this nursery. We ventured into the forest accompanied by representatives, friends of Karura. We appreciate them. We were shown a number of places where this would be set up, and it gives me great pleasure to say that I think where we have set it up is an excellent place to be. If you don't mind, I'll remove this. I think I'm fine enough from everybody. Yeah? I think it's safe. During the launch of Change the Story, we learned of the shortage of seedlings, especially of indigenous seedlings in the country. As a bank, it was decided that we'd be part of the solution of ensuring there are seedlings for people to plant as part of reforestation initiatives. For NCBA, what matters to you as an individual, as a business, or the economy matters to us. And the environment is one of those things that matters a great deal to all of us. It is paramount that each one of us take steps to play a role towards increasing the country's forest cover towards the 10% that's mandated in our constitution. As NCBA, together with our partners, we have planted, since we started this program, over 7 million trees across the country. NCBA bank staff have planted over 100,000 by themselves in the past 2 years. We have spent millions, and on this particular project today, we have spent 14 million to date. Let me assure you, we as NCBA will continue investing in this initiative. As part of our investment in this nursery, we're also going to be supporting the operational costs of running it. This nursery is not exclusive to NCBA. Let me look back to why Change the Story campaign was started. Change in weather should be a good story. All of us who have kids or grew up when we were kids, we talked about White Christmas, even though we never knew what that was for most of us, isn't it? That was because of snow, and we celebrated that. Summer is a big thing, and there are songs composed about the summer and change in weather. Spring and the joys of spring and the beauty of fall. You've heard of all these stories. So change in weather should be celebrated. However, in this country, large parts have witnessed the adverse effects of heavy rains, of change of weather, consequences that have been devastating for a lot of communities. We saw what happened this year when over 4,000 Kenyans were displaced and persons died due to the swelling of Lake Baringo and Lake Bogoria, putting people at risk of contracting waterborne diseases and hunger. We've witnessed the extreme weather conditions that we have to live by on hot days and cold days. In other words, the story of weather in Kenya has not been a celebration. It is one we are always afraid whether it's going to be because of hunger or because of floods. Change the Story was a campaign created for all of us to participate to ensure that weather changes are predictable and we can celebrate weather changes. We're changing the story from the story of floods, the story of drought, to one of the story of sunshine, to the story of rain. Things that we can celebrate. Change in weather patterns and effects of climate change have had a severe ripple effect on the livelihood of Kenyans, especially in the agricultural sector. The environment remains the bedrock of our development. Every sector of our economy depends upon it, and it remains vital in its own right. The first step is to come together towards supporting the government's agenda of attaining the 10% forest cover in the Constitution and the 15% that have been set as a target for 2022. Wherever you are, you can do your part by planting a tree or supporting an initiative towards planting and growing one. We cannot protect our forests and mitigate climate change unless we teach our sons and daughters how to manage our natural resources. So I must ask every Kenyan to consider how best to teach our children a new appreciation of the dangers of climate change and therefore the necessity of preserving our environment and preserving, for that matter, our trees. I would like to express my gratitude to all those partners in this initiative, the Kenya Forest, the Ministry of Environment and Forestry, the Friends of Karura, and others who have joined us in this journey towards changing the story. Today, I must say, as I was driving here, I have special appreciation of what we're doing today because I drove down Wayakwe. And those of you who have been there recently notice the devastation the trees have gone through. Yeah? As we grow infrastructure, which we must find a way to replace those trees that are disappearing fast and quickly. I'm very proud today to be here to replace those trees that have fallen on Wayakwe. I think we should clap for ourselves for doing that. I am deeply grateful and I urge those who have yet to commit to come to join us now. Let's build this country, let's build the nation. And with those few remarks, it's my great pleasure to welcome our chief guest, Chairman of KFS Board of Directors, Peter Kenyua, to give his remarks.
Good morning. I'll start by saying chief guest. I cannot be a guest in my own place, so chief guest, Group Managing Director, NCBA Bank, Mr. John Gashora, Chief Conservator of Forest, Julius Kamau, Friends of Arboretum, CFA, Zikiwea, Friends of Karura, Christina Belloc, KFS staff present, staff of NCBA, ladies and gentlemen. Kenya Forest Service is a state corporation whose mandate is to conserve, manage, and protect public forest resources and to provide technical support for the county governments to manage community and private forests for equitable distribution of the present and future generations. In the Global Forest Resource Assessment Report of 2015, the forest cover was estimated to be 7.2%. Our Constitution requires us to achieve 10% forest cover. This is a journey KFS cannot walk alone. In the national strategy for achieving and maintaining a 10% tree cover by 2022, one of the presidential directives mandated to this institution is to allocate 10%, mandated to institutions is to allocate 10% of the cooperative social responsibility budget to tree growing. We know the environmental, economic, and social development of any country is centered on the environment, natural resources, and the choice of appropriate conservation and management strategies. Indigenous forests are reservoirs of biodiversity, critical habitats of wildlife, sources of water towers, and at the same time support ecological integrity and provide a wide range of services such as tourism, energy, cultural rights, climate change. Forests are actually the backbone of achieving the Agenda 4. It's important to note that successful planting of trees is determined by the quality of seedlings produced from a nursery. This journey with NIC Bank, which later merged with CBA to become NCBA, started way back in December 2018. I am very happy today to see a nursery on its way to completion so as to raise 1 million indigenous tree seedlings annually. Changing the story is not just about planting a tree. It's about sustaining the growth of a tree to maturity. We are delighted to join forces with NCBA Bank, and we are asking all Kenyans to partner with us by buying a tree seedling from this nursery and planting trees at home, in the degraded forest areas, schools, empty plots, and any open spaces so as to change the story. The funds through sale of seedlings shall ensure the nursery runs sustainably and that the seedlings will be available to achieve and maintain tree cover beyond the 10%. I appreciate the partnership of NCBA for this establishment of a tree nursery for indigenous trees, and I look forward to planting trees together so as to change the story. I would also wish to invite our other partners to work with us so as to establish other tree nurseries in other parts of the country. Group MD NCBA, Bonagashora, and I have actually walked to various sites around Karura looking for a spot, and I think, as he has said, and under the CCF, I believe that this is a fantastic site that has been chosen. So again, I would like to thank KFS and the NCBA staff who have tirelessly walked around looking for a site for this great initiative. Since we started this journey with NIC, now renamed NCBA, we have pushed the idea of reorganizing our nurseries around the country in various forest stations. For instance, in Meru Forest Station, we approached the county government, who went ahead to partner with the service in giving us a free borehole to supply water to the station's nursery. Again, it's the same story, change the story, initiated by NIC, now NCBA, which was to have nurseries around the country that have seedlings year-round, not only seasonal. Today, the seedlings under production in Meru Forest Station are close to 1 million, and the figure is expected to increase to 2 million by 2021. At the Nairobi Arboretum, Athi Waterworks Development Agency, as part of their environmental CSR, also drilled a borehole free of charge. This borehole will address the problem of water scarcity, which has plagued the Arboretum for many years. In collaboration with the newly formed Community Forest Association, it is expected that the Nairobi Arboretum will set up efforts to raise 1 million tree seedling nursery. We are calling on our partners to contribute to this noble effort. I am not talking much of Friends of Karura, but I think their reputation precedes itself. They have been in Karura Forest for, I think, over 10 years, and today they have their own nursery. I believe they have actually done a job that most Kenyans see noble, so I've left that out in my speech. These partnerships, coupled with several others, which I cannot mention for now, go a long way in supporting the government, its people, and the community forest associations. This support gives the critical push needed to achieve the government's target of 10% tree cover, a mandate that has been placed upon the Kenya Forest Service. This kind of transparent partnerships are the beginning of a sustained seedling production drive, which shall lead to growing trees. Kenya Forest Service must therefore thank NCBA Bank for pioneering raising tree seedlings. We remain appreciative of any other support in any other areas. On behalf of the Board of Kenya Forest Service, I wish to thank NCBA for this support. I also wish to appreciate the team of staff from KFS, Patrick Kariuki, Jane Detty, Sebastian, Idalia, Nafasi, Mafash, and Paul Musembi, as well as the NCBA team, Chris Pasha, Eva Yeto, Caroline Wangare, McDonald Kahisa, which has been a driving force and have agreed on the components of the partnership to actualize this achievement. With those few remarks, I now declare the Indigenous Tree Nursery officially launched. Thank you very much.
Thank you, our chief guests. So we have organized the official launch. We want to start where the activities of a nursery starts, where we are starting at seed sowing, and that's where we'll get the photos for the official launch. And after that, we'll have a session of networking. But before we go, I want to invite Mr. Nahama to give vote of thanks, so that once we finish that activity, we'll be free to interact. Mr. Nahama, we can sit just briefly.
Thank you. My name is Eric Nahama. I am in charge of partnerships, and I'm happy to be here because this process, I think we started with when the chairman called us for the first time and had a team from NCBA to start discussions on this, and I'm happy that it has come to fruition. Mine is just to pass a vote of thanks, and the chief guest has already mentioned, but I just want to appreciate the NCBA for organizing this, participating in the organizing for this event, and the much you have done, what you have mentioned. We thank you so much for that. And I know there are quite a number of people who participate in the discussions and not to hear from NCBA. Please extend our appreciation to them when you get back to the office. Friends of Karura, this is a team that have been together for a long time. I've been conserving this area for a long time. And I'm happy that you are here. also extend the same appreciation to your people who you left back in the office and the colleagues that we used to meet before. The same applies to the Arboretum team, because here we have urban forestry, and whatever I do here has a big impact on other green areas within the city. And I believe that the contribution from this project will go a long way to enhancing the greenery within the city. The contractor has been mentioned here, and without him, we would not even have been able to make it this place. This road was not passable. He has been able to do that, and I want to thank him for the good work that he's doing. Please continue doing that, because we are looking at you. If you fail, then the project will not also succeed. So thank you so much for coming and doing the much you have been able to do. Lastly, and not least, I want to thank you call yourself the Fourth Estate. These are people who cover events, and we are looking forward to reading more on this event and publicizing, because the more you publicize, the more people learn about this, and the more will come forward to do a similar thing as NCBA has done with us. I know there are quite a number of people, as I have been engaging with several stakeholders, who have a lot of interest in supporting tree nurseries. But once they learn that actually there's something on the ground, I remember I was discussing with Barclays Bank, now ABSA. They asked me, do you have any partner who has established a nursery? I told them, yes, we have something going on. And that shows that once you put up something, others will try to emulate that and come up with something. So publicize that to the Fourth Estate guys so that people know what we are doing and will also be grateful. With that, I think I'll end there. And thank you so much, all of you. And I wish you Jan Masses when you get back home. Thank you so much.
Normally, people who give a vote of thanks are never thanked. So I also start by thanking Nahama, the partnership. I know he has done quite a bit of work, and I know he must be very privileged that CCF is thanking him after giving a vote of thanks. But that aside, we have done a bit of consultation, and even though we are heading to the lounge, before we get to the lounge, I think I would wish we give two people a chance to make very few remarks so that we walk a same journey. And I want to start with the Community Forestation for Arboretum representative to make a few remarks as we head to the planting and sowing session. Thank you and welcome.
To the Chairman of Kenya Forest Services, Peter Kinyua, to the Group Managing Director for NCBA, John Gashora, to the CCF of Kenya Forest, Julius Kamau, and to the Friends of Arboretum, and all guests present and all protocols observed. I will be very brief. Mine basically is to, first and foremost, thank this partnership between NCBA and Kenya Forest Services, because this is a good stepping stone and a good example to many other institutions to follow suit. And this is where we are basically going to try and establish a lot of seedling productions across the country through what has been shared here, especially through public-private partnerships. I would also just, moving forward, just give probably a brief about another institution where I sit as a board member is the Rural Electrification Authority. And we are the big consumers of trees across the country. And we as an organization are also looking at establishing a partnership with Kenya Forest Services so that whatever we deplete, we can also replace. And this would create an impact because on one hand, we are providing power where we need power poles. And that is part of the depletion of the forest, but it is also an essential services under the Big Four agenda. And we are also, as we established now what we so-called last week were in Nakuru with our chairman, Professor Gishara, and we are looking at the energy centers. And all our energy centers are going to be used for seedling production. So that will be a good step in terms of our partnership with Kenya Forest Services. We are also looking at other areas where we are going to work as, for example, the Nairobi Arboretum is also look at establishing a nursery, like the one which has been emulated here in Karura, where we would also be targeting 1 million seedlings, where people can, within the area, also start planting trees, because the environment plays a very critical role in terms of climate change and many other factors. And we hope that also, as we also play a big role as a corporation in the rural areas, that even schools can plant trees, and we are telling the schools that even if you plant fruit trees, because they'll also be a provider of food for the children in the rural areas. So we look at that as an example. I'd also just, I've just seen that our chairman for the Nairobi Arboretum is here, so I would also like him to come forward and just maybe give a few remarks. Thank you very much.
Good morning. Thank you, Ezekiel. My name is Brian Waruhiu. I am the chairman of the Nairobi Arboretum Conservation Community Forest Association. I'm very glad to be here, and I'd like to first of all congratulate Karura Forest and NCBA for the establishment of this nursery. I'm sure Ezekiel has spelled out a lot of our maybe an abridged version of our vision. So I won't want to keep you, except to say that you stole our idea. Because we have actually had as on one of our agendas the establishment of an indigenous tree seedling nursery, so that we can teach and share with the Nairobi citizens, who we all know come from the whole country, because this is the most cosmopolitan center in our republic, about the importance of not just trees, but indigenous trees and their uses and their benefits. However, just once again, I would like to say congratulations, and we look forward to cooperating with yourselves, so that, because Nairobi is our city, and we're very lucky to have all these green spaces in this city. So we must all cooperate so that we can actually showcase Nairobi to the world. So thank you very much, and congratulations. Asante.
Brian, the chair, CFA Arboretum, and also Ezekiel. And it's good to acknowledge that we, as Kenya Forest Service, we benefit from the membership of the CFA, but also individually in their own capacity, they are also able to help us. And I want to acknowledge the REREC. We are working together with you, and thank you for your support in terms of powering Loitoktok Forest Station. Together with Kenya Power is a request we made through the ministry, but I am happy to see the commitment you have given us. It would have costed us 2.5 million to connect. That required transformer and the connectivity, and we thank you so much. It's a journey we have started, even for other stations, because connectivity also means it provides a neighboring environment for other investment. At this point, I want to call upon Madam Christina to also say a few words on behalf of the Friends of Karura, our greatest partner also at this spot. Thank you and welcome.
Thank you very much. Chairman, CCF, Managing Director, it's a pleasure to be here. It's a pleasure to see this partnership. We have partners with the Kenya Forest Service, as the chairman was saying, for over 10 years. And it has been, I would say, an incredibly successful partnership. Karura has gone from a no-go zone to a forest that has 50,000 visitors a month coming in because they feel safe and secure. I mean, now with the pandemic, I mean, our visitors have gone up tremendously because it's one of the very few places that has remained open and that people felt safe. And we managed to protect all our staff, which I think we're very proud of, because, I mean, it has been a tremendous challenge to keep our staff safe to receive all these visitors. We had to change procedures. I mean, we have two persons who have been kind of instrumental in doing that. One is the station manager, Paul Musembi. The other one is Peter Njui, who is our operations manager. Together, they have kept Karura and managed to keep it open and safe for everybody. But going back to the partnership, it's only possible because we have this partnership with the Kenya Forest Service. I think it would have been very difficult for either of us to do it alone. Together, we can do it. So I hope that your partnership will be as successful or even more successful than ours, and that we can produce the 1 million trees seedlings a year that are so needed. We have also a nursery in Karura, plus the nursery that Paul Musembi runs here. So between the three of them, we hope we will have enough seedlings to be able to provide, for sure, seedlings for the whole of the area of Nairobi and its surroundings, and hopefully also be able to provide them for places further away. With those few words, thank you very much, and good luck to everybody.
Much, Christina, for the good collaboration we have had with you in this area. And as we say, I think we are going to be successful, and I think it's a question of complementing each other. Even as Brian said that we have stolen the ideas, I think we haven't stolen an idea. We only started faster than you did, but also we are the same people that we're going to use these learning experiences to improve our learning experiences at the Arboretum. So with those few remarks, I want to acknowledge and thank you so much for being with us here. And I now want to welcome back Jane Detty to also guide us on the process of the heading towards the sowing bed. Thank you so much. Jane, you can take up the program.
Thank you, sir. We are going to move to the next section, and because we have COVID and we have regulations, we are only going to allow the people sitting here, the main guests, to do sowing, but the rest of the team, we are free. We can stand along the road, and you ensure you keep your distance from one person to the other, but we'll have the official lounge where we are going to sow the seeds, not seedlings. We are going to sow seeds, and we have identified 4 species. We'll have our chief guest sow 1 species. Then we have our managing director also do that. Then we have the representative from NCBA and our chief conservator. So the 4 of them will be the ones representing the sowing of the seeds. But the rest of the team, we are free. We can stand somewhere along this road. We are going to sow over there where we have the seed beds. So that is a team which I will lead there. And the rest, thank you so much for coming. Okay. So I'm reminded to invite a representative of Karura and a representative from Arboretum, so that we have 6 people doing the sowing of the seeds. Thank you so much. So we can proceed then.
So we are all headed to the seedbeds, where our chief guest will start off issues of seedling production by sowing seeds in the seedbed. And just as we were guided, we will have the chief guest, we will have the MD, we will have the CCF, of course, joined also together with the Friends of Karura and representative for Arboreta, doing the very first seed sowing. So this is what is going to happen, even on that spot where has a nice poster of NCBA and the Kenya Forest Service, and therefore please let's join them even as they do the sowing. And there are 4 species that they will be sowing. Chair will be doing Prunus africana, MD Vitex keniensis, CCF Olea Europa. So enjoy your day and moment.
registered by Kefri, we register this nursery, and then we can also sell the seedlings to KFS. And meanwhile, that is what we want also the communities outside, all these people on the road who are planting seedlings to register with Kefri.
So these are the seeds, and these lines is where you will sow. 1, 1, 1. Just try.
On the lines, huh?
Yeah, on the lines.
How deep?
We put the middle.
You don't put them deeper? Like that?
Then it becomes accompanied.
What distance?
Oh, okay. I'm coming there. Yes, in the lines. Yeah, to ensure you mark which line you have started, because you have to sow all of them. We'll mark the lines where we have tried. 1, 1. Don't put so many together. Just put 1, 1, 1. 1, 1, 1. Don't put a lot. So you put 1, 1, 1 in the lines. Now we'll just do a few and then we'll complete the session. Yeah, yeah. Just finish a few, you don't need to plant all of them. There's more. Who you want? You are done? Yeah, yeah. You do. Yes, that's what I want to do. Get for me small like they can't plant it. But that's not the one to plant it. So we'll mark the lines which you have planted so that we can come and complete. You want to do more? They are not planting everywhere, so we need to mark where they are planted so that we can come and continue. So just small sticks.
Yeah, we just did 2 lines here. I did 2 lines. It's not just going to become very complete.
I think the seedlings are many we might not complete, but just mark where you are planted so that we can come and continue with the work later. Where the lines are and the places where you are planted. Oh, we're almost done. I think so.
I planted 2 lines.
So we want to mark the ones where you are planted so that we don't, from here.
From here. You have another stick?
Another one. We have another one here.
This is right. You see now where we go.
I planted just 2 lines. So here and there.
Yes, we want to mark where you have done the work.
So we didn't need to. Okay.
So we want to mark you have done from here up to where? From here. So we can put a stick here. Yeah, we will just stick these ones, we'll mark with this. So we'll know it's from there up to here. And then we'll also mark there so that we'll know how much. So this is Phytex. Here, Meruog. Yeah, we will finalize on the exercise of sewing because that's you have done a good job, and thank you so much. Thank you. So you are free to interact, network, and get to know one another. Thank you so much. Yeah, we are interacting without tea or coffee, but we have water. You can take the water you are given in the morning. So thank you so much for attending this function. Yeah, it's true. Okay. We can have the rest of the team, KFS, staff, NCBA. We come and
I see Juliana somewhere. I see Anastasia, Raura, and Nahama. I am not sure whether they have ever done seed sowing, so come and try your line and let's do this. I see Ganji, not Nahama actually.
you.